hour. This is the opening round. You know how it works. Each team begins with 100 points. 10 up for a right answer, 10 down for a wrong answer. Contestants don't see what you do on the screens at home. Let's begin. Special containers. I hope you can contain yourselves because these are questions all about different kinds of containers, real and fictional. See if you can identify the following. This container of fire is in the title of a Harry Potter book. Sandy Spring.
Goblet.
The best book, right? This type of container names a kind of jellyfish, the most venomous in Sandy Spring.
Box.
Box is right. In the title of an Edgar Allan Poe story, this container is filled with Amontillado. Georgetown.
Cast.
Yes. This narrow-necked container describes the nose. Georgetown. In 3.
Erlenmeyer flask.
No bottle, some dolphin species. Sorry. Article 1, Section 7 of the Constitution gives the president this type of veto. The answer is yes, Poolesville.
Pocket.
Pocket is correct. An archer keeps arrows in his Q initial. Georgetown.
Quiver.
Yeah. A proverb says you cannot make this silk container from a sow's ear. The answer is purse. This type of jar titles a novel by Sylvia Plath. Georgetown.
The bell jar.
Yes, indeed. And that's the end of the round. We'll be right back.
It's academic. Now in its 59th year. And for over 50 years, sponsored by Giant Food.
I love that. The wildebeest and the grasshopper getting along. And by the way, that is Matt in the wildebeest from Sandy Spring Friends and Julie the grasshopper from Georgetown Day. So we are very glad you've joined us on this Saturday morning for our third playoff game of the year. Let's meet the teams. We begin with Georgetown Day from D.C. How you doing, Alex?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm well. Tell us about yourself.
I'm Alex. I'm a 17-year-old senior at Georgetown Day School. Outside of its academic, I like to play quiz bowl, I like to run, and I like to play chess.
All right.
I would like to thank Caleb Rosamond, our alternate, for coming out to support us.
Good. Hi, Matthew.
Hi, I'm Matthew. I'm a 17-year-old senior. Outside of its academic, I like to play NAPT quiz ball, and I also like to run. And I'd like to thank our assistant principal, Quinn Killey, and our head of school, Russell Shaw, for coming out to support us today.
All righty, and Arthur.
Hi, I'm Arthur. I'm tired, and I'm a 16-year-old junior from Georgetown Day. Outside of its academic / quiz bowl, I do model UN, and I also run. And I'd like to thank our friends and family for coming out to support us today.
All right, guys, here we go. Nothing off for a wrong answer, 20 points for correct ones. With one word from each column, you can get what name given to elements through numbers 57 through 71, such as lanthanum and cerium.
Rare earths.
Yeah. May to Mukden. You consult this volume of an old encyclopedia to learn about what Roman goddess of wisdom associated with the Greek Athena?
Minerva.
Yes. Which two of these 4 words would you classify as antonyms?
Yeah. Aloof and friendly.
You got it. Some nice cinemas. Here you have an example of what sort of word or phrase whose letters read the same way backwards as forwards.
Okay. Palindrome.
Yeah. As soft as a fine. A French author wrote this phrase, which you can complete by naming what common cleaning aid made from this sea animal of the phylum Porifera.
Sponge.
Sponge.
Sponge, it is. Nice job, Georgetown Day. 220 points. From Sandy Spring, Maryland, Sandy Spring Friends, home of the wildebeest. Olivia, tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm a 16-year-old junior at Sandy Spring Friends School, and I would like to thank our awesome teammates for helping us get here.
All righty. Hi, Moira.
Hi, I'm Moira. I'm a 16-year-old junior at Sandy Spring, and I'd like to thank our teachers for their help and inspiration.
Wonderful. Good to see you, Layla.
Hi, I'm Layla. I'm a 16-year-old junior at Sandy Spring Friends School, and I'd like to thank our wonderful friends and families for their kindness and support, as well as Giant Foods for helping make its academic possible for all of us.
Yay, Giant! Couldn't do without Giant. Here we go, guys. With one word from each column, see if you can name what deepest part of the Pacific Ocean.
Mariana's Trench.
That's it. Logic to mana. You turn this volume of an old encyclopedia to read about what Norse god of mischief and evil.
Wilkie.
Yeah. Which two of these four words are opposite in meaning?
Succinct and verbose.
That's it. Bowhead orca. These are two varieties of what sea creature, the world's largest mammal?
Whale.
Yeah. Yankee from. To complete the title of this biography of Supreme Court Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes, add the name of what mountain, the home of the Greek gods?
Olympus.
Yeah, well done, Sandy Spring Friends. 220 points. From Poolesville, Maryland, Poolesville High School. Jeffrey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
I'm Jeffrey. I'm a 17-year-old senior from Poolesville High School. I'd like to thank my family for being here.
All right. Jacob, hi.
Hi, I'm Jacob. I'm a 17-year-old senior at Poolesville High School. I run cross country and track, and I'd like to thank our coach, Mrs. Snavely, and our vice principal, Mr. Butler, for coming here today to support us.
Great. And last but not least, Orion.
Hi, I'm a 15-year-old sophomore at Poolesville High School. I like to swim and play baseball, and I'd like to thank Giant Foods for sponsoring this show.
Yeah, Giant. Thank you very much. Here we go, guys. Choose one word from each column, and you'll name what type of substance to which Boyle's law applies.
Ideal gases.
That's it. Pawnee to Queens. You'd look in this volume of an old encyclopedia to read about what Greek god of the sea, the counterpart of Neptune.
Poseidon.
That's it. One of these four words, which two would best be paired as opposite in meaning?
Slack and taut.
Yep. Denmark, Djibouti. Here are two members of the United Nations whose names begin with the letter D. Missing is what D-initialed country on the island of Hispaniola?
The Dominican Republic.
That's right. Reporters are not required to read you your blank rights. To complete this warning, add what M-initialed name referring to the rights of police officers that they must tell those they arrest.
Miranda.
Miranda is right. Nice, Poolesville. 210 points. We've got the picture perfect round next. Stick around.
People aren't talking about Giant's all-natural Nature's Promise chicken. They're not talking about our fresh, pre-cut veggies. Or Giant's delicious grab-and-go salads and sandwiches. They're not talking because they're eating. Oh, wow. Yum. At Giant, we carry over 900 Nature's Promise products, and we feel good about feeding our families. So you can too. The little things are Giant.
My name is Diana. I found my career path at UDC. I knew I liked math, and my professors always guided me on what to do with my degree. I had a very good relationship with them. They inspired me to continue with my career. I didn't know it was possible to secure a fellowship at an Ivy League school, but UDC helped me achieve that. I never dreamed having this career was possible until UDC.
Find your possible. Visit udc.edu/possible to learn more.
Welcome back, everyone. All of the contestants in today's playoff series will receive tickets to a Washington Nationals game. The new season is underway, so plan to enjoy baseball with our World Series champions, the Nationals Park. To purchase tickets, visit nationals.com, and while they're at the stadium, please go to our Facebook page. We would love it if you liked us. All right, it's time for the picture perfect round. Let's recap the scores before we dive in. Georgetown Day 220, Sandy Spring Friends 220, and Poolesville 210. Questions in this round are worth 20 points up or down. Here's the first clue. This 1936 yearbook photo shows what young man who went on to write such novels as The Catcher in the Rye, Georgetown?
Salinger.
Yeah, it's Salinger. This unusual species of orchid is native to what South Pacific country? Originally home to the Maoris. Sandy Spring. Answer?
New Zealand.
It's New Zealand, yeah. This Scottish tartan is associated with the clan of what British? Sandy Spring.
Rose.
No, General Charles Gordon is what we were looking for. Evaluate this expression, Georgetown.
One.
It is one. Choice. Sand dollars, like starfish, belong to what group of Georgetown?
Echinoderms.
Yeah, you've got it. Take an umbrella. This might have been a tweet from what mythical woman, the daughter of Priam, whose predictions were Georgetown.
Cassandra.
Yes, it is Cassandra. This island is part of the archipelago that forms what S initial country whose capital is Victoria? Sandy Spring friends. Answer?
Suriname?
No, the Seychelles, located in the Indian Ocean. This painting is titled Young Girl in what kind of glass building that names an effect? Sandy Spring.
Greenhouse?
That is right, and that's the end of the round.
People aren't talking about Giant's all-natural Nature's Promise chicken. They're not talking about our fresh, pre-cut veggies. Or Giant's delicious grab-and-go salads and sandwiches. They're not talking because they're eating. Oh, wow. Yum. At Giant, we carry over 900 Nature's Promise products, and we feel good about feeding our families. So you can too. The little things are Giant.
This is another playoff game, which means each of these teams won their first round match. Let's meet the coaches and faculty that helped prepare them for competition. And we begin with Georgetown Day. Matthew, tell us about the folks with you today.
Hi, with us today we have two wonderful coaches. We have Sue Eikenberry and Abe Pachikara.
Good to see you guys as always. From Sandy Spring Friends, Moira, how about you?
With us today are our coach and the head of our global languages department, Eduardo Colon, and our head of school, Tom Gideon.
Great to see you. And from Poolesville, Jacob, who's with you guys?
Today with us we have our coach, Marcia Snavely, and our vice principal, Mr. John Butler.
Thanks for being here, guys. Okay, it's the packet round. We have these three fine packets. Georgetown Day answers questions from one of them first. Sandy Spring Friends, you get to choose which packet it'll be.
3, please.
3. 8 questions. If you get them all right, 25-point bonus. I know you know. Here we go. President Franklin Roosevelt labeled December 7th, 1941, a date that will live in infamy, following an attack on what military site?
Pearl Harbor.
Yes, it was. According to DNA analysis, lactose intolerance was a problem for a shepherd whose 5,000-year-old remains were found in what country where Naples is located?
Italy?
Yeah. 2020 marks the 120th anniversary of the publication of what L. Frank Baum book that introduced us to Dorothy Gale?
The Wizard of Oz.
Yes. Here's your science question. To increase the yield of gasoline from a given sample of crude oil, the chemist uses which of these techniques?
Cracking.
Cracking is correct. On a mythical talent show, Terpsichore might have performed with her 8 sisters, a group known by what name?
The Muses.
It is the Muses. Many creditors want cash, but in Shakespeare's Merchant of Venice, Shylock was willing to lend money in exchange for a pound of what substance?
Flesh.
Pound of flesh. Here's your math question. Solve for X.
There you go. That's right.
10.
You got it. A ship named Defiance was the last vessel commanded by what 16th century English sea dog whose best known ship was the Golden Hind?
Drake.
Woohoo! 25-point bonus for Georgetown Day. All right, Sandy Spring Friends, you're up. Poolesville, what's it going to be, 1 or 2?
2.
2. Ladies. Since ancient times, the economy of Egypt has depended on the flow of what river the longest in the world?
Nile.
Nile's right. When it entered the Union in 1845, what largest southwestern state was granted the option of later splitting into 5 parts?
Texas.
Texas it is. The fictional Paddington Bear, beloved by many kids, supposedly came from what South American country associated with the Incas?
Peru.
Peru is right. Here's your science question. Electrical resistance is measured in which of these units?
Ohms.
Ohms is correct. Fencing was a problem for farmers until 1873, when Joseph Glidden invented what revolutionary type of wire used by cattle ranchers?
Barbed.
It is barbed wire. Though stage managers usually stay in the background, the stage manager is a major character in what Thornton Wilder play?
Bartown.
Yeah, my favorite. Here's your math question. If angle B in this parallelogram is twice angle A, what is the number of degrees in angle A?
60.
Yes. Called the door to hell. A giant sinkhole filled with burning gas can be seen in what Central Asian country whose capital is Ashgabat? Answer?
Uzbekistan.
No, Turkmenistan. So close. Great job, Sandy Spring Bank. 360 points. Long reach. That leaves packet number 1 for Poolesville. One of California's first senators, William Gwynn, was also one of the first to use what equine postal delivery system that reached California in 1859?
The Pony Express?
Yeah. The English word admiral comes from Amir al-Bar, a term meaning commander of the sea in what language spoken throughout the Middle East?
Yeah, Arabic.
It is Arabic. While Lhasa is the chief city of Tibet, the village of Amdo is revered as the birthplace of what Tibetan religious leader?
Yeah, the Dalai Lama.
That's it. Here's your science question. Of these 3 compounds, which one is correctly described as a basic anhydride?
Na2O.
That's it. Legend doesn't mention who the guests were at the wedding of mythology's Persephone to what classical god of the underworld?
Hades.
Yeah. After a holiday dinner, your family might echo the line, "We are the stuffed men," from the poem The Hollow Men by what poet who also wrote The Wasteland? Answer is...
Eliot.
Yes, good, very good. T.S. Eliot. Nice save. Math question. If the area of this triangle is 30, what is its altitude?
10.
Yes. One historian stated that the greatest American general between Washington and Robert E. Lee was what military hero nicknamed Old Fuss and Feathers? Answer?
Zachary Taylor.
No, it was Winfield Scott. Very good, though, Poolesville. 350 points. You got the grab bag down next place. Hey, really awesome.
People aren't talking about how Giants Nature's Promise items are free from artificial ingredients and fit your budget. They're not talking because they're eating. Morning. I love breakfast. At Giant, unlock personalized savings on the foods you love most with your Giant card.
Restaurants are our family, the cornerstone of our communities, and our family needs help. Right now, they're facing a crisis, and they're counting on your takeout and delivery orders to help them through. Because if we don't treat restaurants like family today, they might not be around to treat us like family tomorrow. Grubhub. Together, we can help save the restaurants we love.
People aren't talking about how Giant spiral ham is smoked with real hickory wood. They're not talking because they're eating. Oh, hello, and hello, I am. At Giant, we stand behind everything we sell, letting you focus on the important things, like family.
It's time for the grab bag round. Anything can happen. Questions are worth 20 points up or down, 30 points for the visual questions. Let's dive in. The fourth letter of the Greek alphabet, also Sandy Spring. Answer?
Delta?
Yes. One of the first casualties in our struggle for independence was what African American who? Poolesville.
Crispus Attucks.
Correct. If you told William Tell to tell about his life, he would talk about his efforts to free what European country from Austria? Georgetown.
Switzerland.
Switzerland it is. On your screens for 30 points. This is what Roman general called Africanus because he was Georgetown.
Scipio.
That is right. The Spanish Inquisition is the setting for a grisly Edgar Allan Poe story. Who's Georgetown?
The Pit and the Pendulum.
You've got it. Choice. A metal that forms both a soluble carbonate and a soluble sulfate is barium, lead, or sodium. Poolesville.
Sodium.
Yeah, good. According to Greek mythology, the country of Libya was turned into a desert when what young man scourged Georgetown?
Phaethon.
Yes. On your screens for 30 points. He represents an evil art, Italian music. This was a scathing review, part of a scathing review of the opera Tosca by what Italian? Georgetown.
You say that.
Answer?
Puccini.
Yep, it is. The area of a rhombus is 60, and one diagonal is 10. What is the length of the other Sandy Springs?
6.
No, it's 12. You can still see the ruins of a 12th century castle that was once a prison for what English king captured while returning from the Crusades? Georgetown.
Richard the Lionheart.
You've got it. We have extraordinary photographs of the Civil War, thanks to Georgetown Day.
Brady.
Yeah, Matthew Brady is right. On your screens for 30 points. The young man in this monument is what English romantic poet who wrote Childe Harold? Georgetown?
Lord Byron.
Yep, you got it. In a story by Guy de Maupassant, Mademoiselle first at Georgetown.
The Necklace.
Yes. A lot of ancient Greek history centers on what T-initialed city-state?
Thebes.
Georgetown, it is Thebes. Restaurant servers should note that, according to one survey, people tip the most in what Western Georgetown?
San Francisco.
Answer?
San Francisco, California.
No, Colorado. What Centennial State? A mystery story that flew off the shelves was the Maltese Falcon by what? Georgetown?
Dashiell Hammett.
It was Dashiell Hammett. To describe the formal 1939 alliance between Italy and Germany, you would use what word that ordinarily describes the imaginary Georgetown?
Yeah.
Axis.
Axis it is. In 1890, philosopher William James coined what three-word Georgetown?
Oh.
I don't know.
Answer? No, it's stream of consciousness. That's what you needed, right there. There's supposedly $1 billion in 18th century treasure buried beneath the White Sands Missile Range in what southwestern state? Sandy Springs. Answer?
Nevada?
No, it's New Mexico. The ancient Greek philosopher Diogenes supposedly searched the Georgetown. Answer?
Philosopher.
Honesty. You missed it. Sorry. St. Petersburg, Florida has a museum dedicated to what European surrealist artist?
Sully.
Yes, that's right, Georgetown. On a map, 1 inch represents 300 miles. How many miles are represented by 2.5? Sandy Springs.
900.
Answer?
750.
Yeah, great. Joan of Arc was only 19 years old when she was burned at the stake in what French city, Sandy Spring? Answer?
In Reims?
Close, Rouen, sorry. Charles Hall, that is the end of the game.
People aren't talking about Giant's all-natural Nature's Promise chicken. They're not talking about our fresh, pre-cut veggies. Or Giant's delicious grab-and-go salads and sandwiches. They're not talking because they're eating. Oh, wow. Yum. At Giant, we carry over 900 Nature's Promise products, and we feel good about feeding our families. So you can too. The little things are Giant.
If you could save someone's life, you would do it.
Especially since people are dying because the organ that they need is not donated in time.
With one simple choice, you can save 8 lives. Organ donors are superheroes.
Register to be an organ donor today at beadonor.org.
At Eastern's Automotive Group, safety is our priority. We are essential, open, and ready to serve your needs. Use our online express storefront to shop our virtual showroom. Our concierge is here to help you every step of the way, online or over the phone. We offer home test drives and home delivery to serve you and your family. Visit easterns.com and find your match from the comfort and safety of your home. We urge everyone to stay safe and look after your loved ones. Thank you from the Easterns family.
People aren't talking about Giant's all-natural Nature's Promise chicken. They're not talking about our fresh, pre-cut veggies. Or Giant's delicious grab-and-go salads and sandwiches. They're not talking because they're eating. Oh, wow. Yum. At Giant, we carry over 900 Nature's Promise products, and we feel good about feeding our families. So you can too. The little things are Giant.
But I want to acknowledge these were all good teams. 2 of them won the 25-point bonus, and 1 just missed it by a question. So props, guys. Okay, let's talk about these scores. First, Sandy Spring friends from Sandy Spring, Maryland. Olivia, Moira, and Layla, 340 points. From Poolesville High School, Jeffrey, Jacob, Orion, 390 points. Coming back for the semifinal, Georgetown Day, Alex, Matthew, and Arthur, 715 points. Please join us next week for another playoff game when we have Montgomery Blair, Holton Arms, and Landon. I'm Hillary Howard. Thanks for spending part of your Saturday with us. We'll see you next time. Come on down, everyone.
I never dreamed this career